Welcome everyone to the Good in Motion podcast. Today, I'm really happy to start my morning with our guest, Shabnam Naz Ansari, who is the founder and CEO of the Volunteer Well. And maybe you've heard about her journey already on other platforms, so I hope we can continue this ongoing conversation with Shabnam's journey and charity on this podcast with maybe deeper questions or just another angle. So the first question I have for you, Shabnam, is the Volunteer Well, which is a Canadian registered charity based on mutual aid principles. This is how we can find it being defined online. And I would like to dive deeper into mutual aid principles. What does that mean exactly? How does it work?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Juliet, for having me here. It's an honor. A brilliant question right at the start. Mutual aid principles work on the concept of helping each other and seeking help from each other. That's as simple as it can be. The idea is for practically neighbors seeking help from each other or neighbors helping each other without any judgments or exclusions or shame or hesitation. The idea is that we are all connected with each other as one big human family. There's no discrimination, there's no shame, there's no hesitation. It's just like instead of volunteering to an organization or seeking help from an organization, we help each other and we seek help from each other. That's the whole concept.
So, for example, would it be that a mom is seeking free babysitting for a particular occasion and maybe a student on the same platform is wanting to help and offer babysitting? Is it how it works?
Yes, very much so. That's how it works. It's like whatever you can offer and whatever you need. So maybe there is a person who's feeling isolated and alone, and he or she is just seeking an accompany buddy. So what I say is that whatever you can offer, whatever you need, this is the platform. At times we are so focused in the financial or economic world, we underestimate the importance of non-monetary help and support for each other, such as a smile, a listening ear, a shoulder, a skill that I have that I can teach, a help that I need for myself or for my family. We take these things as these things are something that we can only ask those who are most trusted people. What if we can open the doors for others? And at times people are just waiting for us to ask, so that we can give them the gift and the opportunity for giving. So that's all it is. And a good example, very good example.
It's so true that I find that most people want to help.
Yes.
It just, for most people, it's also hard to ask for help.
Yes, and that is so true, Juliet, because we are brought up in a society that attaches strength with the concept of independence, that attaches strength with self-reliance, whereas we attach shame and hesitation with the concept of seeking for help and support. At times, we do not ask for help because of the simple reason that it might lead others to think that we are weak and we are vulnerable, whereas the others are actually waiting for us. Our loved ones are waiting for us to seek help from them, because this is the way we give them the opportunity, the gift of giving. So by asking, you're actually giving.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's easier for people to ask for help from strangers over family members?
No, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And that's why what we do is we build a community of mutual help and support. All our programs, all our events are towards making friends, building community connections. Because when we are interacting with each other as members of the society or members of the community, we are interacting with each other at a very, very superficial level, right? We are just talking about weather or how you are, just for the sake of asking. We build deeper connections only when we either offer help and kindness without any judgment and exclusions, or we seek help from each other. It's only at that level that we are able to build deeper connection. And that's one of the reasons why all of our programs are geared towards ice-breaking exercises, breaking that barrier, connecting with each other at a very basic human level, right? Our shared values. We are beautiful because of who we are, because of the similarities, and that's where we connect deeply, when we connect at that mutual aid platform, at mutual aid level.
Yeah, I really like this definition because I find it true. I think I've never put words on it, that I get deeper relationships when I just want to help without expectations. It just feels so good, but I also feel indeed closer to that other person.
Yes, and again, this is something that you raise such brilliant points, Juliet, because if I look at that, most of the time what we are doing is whenever we are giving, we are not giving from our true authentic selves. We are giving superficially. Let's suppose we are giving as a trade. We are giving smile to a stranger and expecting the stranger to smile back at us. That's a trade. That's not giving, right? The giving is when it is not with any expectations at all, when this is not a give and take relationship. It's just giving from your true authentic self without any judgments. So for instance, or exclusion. So for instance, if I give only to this person but not to that person, that's not giving from your true self, right? That's wherever there is a selection, where there is a judgment, where there is an exclusion happening, you're not giving from your true self. You're giving from your egoistic self, perhaps. So that's the true definition of giving. It has to be from your true self, and it has to be without any expectations, without any acknowledgement even. So even if I'm giving something to somebody and I'm expecting them to say thank you, that is a trade that I'm looking for. That's not giving, right?
So I can't help but think about the volunteers on the platform. Does it happen sometimes that some of them give and they feel that they don't receive, or there's like an unbalanced that can be frustrating?
Yes, Juliet, the reason why at times we feel frustration when we are giving is because we are not giving from our true authentic selves. Whenever we are giving from our true authentic selves, it is proven scientifically. It improves our well-being. It improves our health. It improves our energy. I'll give you a recent example that happened. My brother got trapped in a flood-like situation. He got trapped on the top of a hill where he managed to take his car up to the bridge. But he had to stand there because there was no way that he could go anywhere. And he got stranded there for good 8-9 hours. And when I was asking him that you must be exhausted from that experience, and his response was, no, I felt really good, because what I was doing was I was standing there and I was helping others really move to the safety. There was instances where I pushed cars, I took people out of the water. And because of all that experience, at the end of the day, I might have been physically exhausted, but I'm so recharged. I'm so loved. It's just like it filled my heart with love and selfless efforts for everyone. And that's just one example of why, when you are giving with your true authentic self, there's no possibility of you feeling exertion or exhaustion or discouragement. There's no possibility of you feeling anything else other than unconditional love and support and uplifting when you give from your true self.
I think it's very interesting that you share this concept, because it's new to me. And I listened to a podcast yesterday where Gary Vee was a guest on the podcast. And he introduced this concept, at least to me, that he said you can't be burnout when you do things that fulfills you. And I think it's mirroring what you're saying, that if you give from your true self, then there's no exhaustion, there's no lack. It just, you give, but it just gives back to yourself.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
It's the concept of abundance, right? You're tapping into that abundance, that limitless supply. Whenever you give, the universe gives back in so much abundance. And whenever you need something, the first step is always to give. And that's how you're given back. You receive like that.
So I know a bit from your story what led you to start the Volunteer Well. So I believe that communities were here to support you, and this is what propelled you to create the Volunteer Well. Did you ask for help in your journey, or what happened that you needed help and people showed up to help you? Did you voice it that you needed help?
That's an issue, right? Especially for successful executives. Because I was one of the successful women executive at that time, one of the only 4 women in a room full of over 30 men, right? I was regarded as really successful senior executive. So just because of 2 factors, one factor was I was brought up as a female, obviously in my home country. And as female and as women, we are always expected to be caregivers. We cannot we cannot be care receivers. That was one of the major inhibition because of my gender. And the second is, especially for senior executives and successful people, whenever they are in a situation where they really need help, they cannot get over that hurdle of, what will people say? What will people think of me? Would they associate me as weak and vulnerable? So that shame, that guilt, that hesitation never let me ask for help, in spite of the fact that years later, when I was talking to my friends, and my friends were saying, why did you not? Because had you asked for help, it would have strengthened our relationship. It would have given us the opportunity to help and support you. Why did you not? And looking back, I think this was one of the things that I learned with the passage of time, in terms of really asking for help is the key to generosity. If you look at the concept of generosity, wherever it is portrayed as only the giving side. It's never portrayed as the receiving side. Whereas if I look at, even at the Volunteer Well, we celebrate receiving more than giving, because when you're asking for help, you're showing courage, you're showing strength, you're giving the gift of giving to those who want to give. So without those who are asking for help, they can never be anyone who can give, right? So receiving is the foundation of generosity. So the reason why I say this is because I've learned through experience that receiving is more important than giving. I could not get over that shame, that guilt, that hesitation. And I think even right now, our societal norms prohibit many and stop many people to really ask for help.
And just like you shared earlier, it's very portrayed as weak to ask for help. And even when I think about, titles on magazines saying self-made millionaires, it's really a badge. We're proud of things like that. So what would you say to yourself back in the days, that woman executive who was ashamed and scared to ask for help?
I would say to everyone, not just women executive, but to everyone, 2 things. One is that your self-image is nothing to do with what people think of you. Yourself, your true authentic self, is devoid of any people's opinion. It is not based on what people think of you. Your true self is over and above all of that. The main problem that happens is that when we attach our identity with people's views and opinions, that if people think of us as successful, it's only then we are successful. If people think of us as strong, only then we are strong. That's a mistake. That's a major mistake, because that way what we're doing is we are hiding our true authentic self with the societal expectations, societal views, societal opinions. And through my lived experience, I also learned that at times we underestimate the strength within us. So that moment in court when I handed over the custody of my children for the sake of my own survival, that remained the biggest regret of my life. But that moment in the court is a manifestation, is an evidence of the fact that I was underestimating my strength. I thought I'm not strong enough to fight for my children. And that was the reason that I gave up the custody. But had I were to give advice to myself at that point of time, I would say to myself, you're strong beyond any limits. You're strong within yourself. Your true authentic self is so strong that you have no idea. That's the second thing that I would say to myself. The third thing I would say to myself is that our loved ones, our family, our friends, they are waiting for opportunity for us to ask for help. Because that way, they're going to strengthen this connection, this love, this support. And when we are asking for help and support, we are not only giving them the opportunity to give something to us that they are waiting for us, but we are also strengthening that connection. And just to give you an example, when I reunited with my children, I was distant, right? My eldest said to me that you're not our mother anymore. But from then and onwards, I have built up that relation slowly and gradually, build on these ask for help. I wait for them to ask for help. I grab that opportunity with my both hands whenever given that opportunity. And it's through those instances that I have been back in their life as a mother, as a role model, as an inspiration for them. So these are important opportunities. These are important gifts. And I always equate the concept of receiving from the concept of the blood clots in your veins, right? So just like your veins are, the blood is flowing in your veins, providing nourishment in each and every part of your body, right? But the blood clots happen that stop that free flow. Whether you're not offering any help or kindness, or whether you're not asking for help and kindness, you're contributing to creating that blood clot. So the idea is the free flow of abundance is only possible when you are giving from your true authentic self and when you're asking from your true authentic selves.
I think if there was just this one message from this chat, which is to ask for help, and the reason why, which you just expressed, it's an amazing episode already, because it's a really strong message. And I understand better the value of asking for help, just even for having stronger relationships. Yeah.
Yes.
So you shared it yourself that you worked in senior leadership, and through your material, your website, I could learn that you worked in banking, insurance, strategy before you founded this charity. And I'm curious to learn more about how did this transition happen? Did you stop everything and started the charity? Did you do both? And it overlapped? What does that look like? Were you by yourself when you started it?
No. So through my breakdown years, when I was going through the complete research and study, I landed on the book Secret. The authors such as Dr. Wine-Dyer, Bob Proctor, all of those have been my role model, my mentor. And I learned from them the two key principles on the basis of which I'm living my life. The first key principle is that whatever we are given, be it in terms of our time or money or resources, even our bodies, we are not given as owners. We are given as caretakers, as trustees. It is to be spent for the benefit of others. And the second thing is that we are not different. We tend to differentiate each other based on our background, our religion, but at the very core of all of us, we are the same. We came from the same source. We are going to the same source. There's same source in me, same source in you. We are all the same, right? So the second core principle is the unity. all of us being the same, being the one. And built on these two key principles, I have been living my life ever since then. So in terms of really answering your questions, I have over 25 years of senior leadership experience in 4 major industries across 3 continents. I have been in the corporate world practically all my life. But in Canada, after reuniting with my children, I set up a for-profit business, which is an insurance brokerage business, along with my husband. And then earlier this year, I handed over that insurance brokerage business to him, and I focused all my efforts on the charity, because the basic purpose of the charity is to connect communities so that no one feels isolated. No mother has to go through what I went through. So this is my life purpose. And if I look at the charity, it is right now in its 3rd year of operation. So I try to carry out both the insurance brokerage business as well as the charity alongside with each other. But then I realized that it's difficult for me to do both. So I handed over all my clients to my husband, and I am focusing all my energy and my passion on the life purpose that I received from all of my life suffering.
I really appreciate you being transparent about this, because I feel that in the interviews I conduct, I chat a lot with women who just started a business. And I find that there's a lack of discussion around the transitions. It's sometimes a taboo topic because there's this need of wanting to look at the experts we are in our industry. And then we don't want to maybe share that we, supplement an income doing something completely unrelated, but it's still part of the reality. And so I decided to ask more of this question of the behind the scenes, what is actually, paying the bills, and also what does a week look like? And I ask you this question, what does a week in your life look like at the moment?
If I answer your first question in terms of what's paying the bill, it's our insurance brokerage business is paying the bill. And not only that, the charity is in its really at a very grassroots level. It's in its 3rd year of operation. So there are many things that we are doing right now that is just efforts. There's nothing coming in. We have already invested our own equity into the charity for the last 3 years. And even if you look all around us, the way the nonprofit or a charity is structured and is expected to run, it's a complete non-level playing field, in the sense that we are expected to run it like a charity, whereas I am determined to run the volunteer well as a social enterprise. Because unless and until you run it like a social enterprise, you would always continue to be dependent on grants and donations. This is not a viable or a sustainable business model. In terms of what my week looks like, again, it's since this is at the grassroots level, most of the efforts that we are doing right now is in laying out the foundation of the charity. You have not seen so far any campaigns by us for fundraising. We have been running programs and events. We have not been raising any fundraising events or donation campaigns. We have not been doing that. We have not approached any corporations for corporate sponsorship. So we have not yet focused on sort of the revenues for the charity. We have been only focusing on our impacts, creating of the platform of give and take, running of programs. So we have been running programs for seniors, for youth, for women, and we are right now in the process of designing programs for new immigrants, and Empowerment Beyond Boundaries are programs for anyone facing discrimination and racism. So right now we are focusing on our impact. And what it means is that there's a lot of effort that's going on behind the scene. There's a lot of investment that is going in the charity, and there's nothing coming out right now. And that's okay. That's expected. An organization or a nonprofit charity would take 4 to 5 years in order to be able to be standing up on its own feet. So what my week looks like is all of these efforts working with different teams. And I would not lie and say that it is all self-made. I have a team of 5 board of directors who are all very supportive, and over 45 volunteers who are investing their heart and passion within the charity. It's these people who are working behind the scene. It's these people who have all the credit for all the impact that we are making and we will continue to make in the future as well.
Well, first, congratulations for, building a team to 45 volunteers, having a board of directors as well, and building the charity, a charity that models a social enterprise. That's fantastic. I know I'm not from the industry, but I don't know. It must be challenging, and it feels more sustainable than relying on grants. And I saw on your LinkedIn page actually a number, and I just want to know if it's related with what you just shared. You said Canada's only federal charity based on mutual aid principles, scaling from concept to $150,000 plus operations in 3 years. Is this what you were referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you look at the charity, it started from scratch. We are in our third year of operation. We went through a complete renaming, rebranding only last year in May. We entered into a reclassification with the Charities Directorate to change our classification from a faith-based charity to a community welfare charity. We changed our name, we changed our rebranding. So the whole of last year was spent in that. It's only this year that we are geared towards strategizing, planning, designing all our programs. So when I say Canada's only federally registered charity built on mutual aid. So if I look at the North American region, you can see many organizations such as Next Door Neighbor, Neighborly, Mutual Aid Hub as organizations which are actively working in the United States. But you do not see any Canadian charity that's working on the Mutual Aid Hub principles, rather than funding like GoFundMe, which is focusing only on the financial side of things. And like I said, finance is just one part of the mutual aid. There's so much that you can do that's nothing to do with money or finance. And that's where we come into play.
And I'm just curious to understand, how do the programs make money knowing that this is based on mutual aid and volunteering?
Yes, so when you look at the programs such as Senior Care Connect or Youth Enrichment, these are programs that are offered free of cost. But programs like Women Empowerment, Children Health and Wellness are subsidized, fee-based programs. In addition to that, what these programs are doing, these programs are also sort of when we say where we all come together, it's not just about individuals coming together, it's about corporations and organizations and other nonprofits coming in together as well. So for instance, for new immigrants or for Women Standing Tall program, other corporations are coming together to support these programs. If you look at our sources of funds or sources of revenue for the charity, other than grants and donations, we have to have corporate sponsorships. We have to have earned source of revenue. And that's where I'm saying that the charity has to work like a social enterprise. We have to have an earned source of revenue. So for instance, when we're looking at Women Standing Tall program, a key part of that program is transformation through education or mentorship or career counseling. All of this are invaluable services that we are offering to the women, and there is a subsidized fee attached to such programs.
What does subsidized mean?
So depending upon which segment of the population you are in. So for instance, if you are a low-income family or people belonging to a segment who are facing financial difficulties, we are looking at even subsidizing the fee to a large extent.
Okay, yeah, this is helpful. Thank you. Well, Shabnam, I'm having a really good time learning about everything, the behind the scenes. It's time for us to try the wheel of life, spin the wheel of life. We have time for one question. I will click and spin the wheel for us. Our category for today is work, career, mission, which is very aligned with our discussion. So that's perfect. Shabnam, How do you stay connected to your bigger why in what you do?
My bigger why is the reason why I started the charity. My basic purpose is to connect community. Everything that I do on my daily basis is connected to this bigger why in everything that I'm doing, whether that is a relationship with my children, my work during my working week, my life after the working hours, whatever I'm doing, I am connected to this bigger why, my life purpose of strengthening families, empowering individuals, connecting communities, and uniting humanity. That is my bigger why. So whatever work I'm doing with respect to the charity, even while I'm here, my purpose is to communicate the message, is to connect everyone together to the same purpose.
And in the challenging times, do you have a practice to stay connected to it? To remember why you're doing this?
Yes. And that's again one of the very important and amazing questions that you've been asking. In terms of my daily routine, you can call it a ritual, you can call it a set process that I manage. And I started this at that point of time when I decided to go for divorce. So it's way back. It's way back. So I have been doing this practice every day. I start my day with going to the washroom and talking to myself and encouraging myself and reminding myself what my life purpose is. So that right first thing in the morning, I talk to myself and remind myself what is my life purpose, what is my goal, where I am at, what areas I'm grateful of. So there are set aspects that I do, and I start the day with reminding myself of the life purpose, my goal, why I am where I am, and what gratitude I feel for each of the areas in my life, whether it comes to my body, my relationship, my work colleagues, the environment, the country, the nature, everything. That's how I start the very first part of the day. The second part is in terms of a routine workout. And again, it is nothing to do with the life purpose, but it is to do with my ability to carry out my life purpose in order for my health and well-being. I have this rigorous habit of going for a workout right in the morning. And then I enter into the phase of breakfast with the family, taking care of my daughter, sending her to school, and all of the routine before I start my work. And then after the working hours, in fact, during the midday, again, take a 2 minutes break or 5 minutes break, go into my own, I call it my self room, where I get attached to my authentic self. I remind myself what my life purpose is, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then at the end of the day, before I go to bed, I remember everything that happens for the whole day, especially the areas where I need to improve, and also the areas where I'm feeling huge gratitude for. And just before going into the bed, because this is something that I learned from Dr. Weindyer, because you're marinating yourself for another 8 hours of sleep. Whatever you give to your subconscious mind is going to happen. So I make sure that whenever I'm drifting off to sleep, my last thoughts are of my goal, of my self-image, of really connecting to my true authentic self.
I love that. It really inspires me. I mean, you have multiple poses in your day to remember, to reconnect with yourself, with your purpose. I'm inspired. Yeah, I took notes of the self room you mentioned, and I'm just curious to know if are you at your desk and maybe you close your eyes and just you're thinking.
Yes. So what I do is I close my eyes. I go into this room that I've created, and in that room is all I would keep that room as a treasure of my life. So there are wall hangings with my loved ones, the time that I have spent with my loved ones, my achievements in terms of whatever I have done, that I am really aligned with the true purpose. So that is there. And in that room is where I go into, and then I talk about my life purpose, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because what I've realized, Juliet, is that the more grateful you are, the more you are given abundance. The less grateful you are, the more you take things for granted. The things that are granted to you get taken away. So even a small, teeny, meeny, miny bit of blessing that's happening in my life, I remember that in that room. So even, for instance, if I'm facing a certain challenge and I'm really tense and anxious before entering that room, when I'm into that room, I'm thanking that challenge, because that challenge is giving me an opportunity for growth and success. So there are many things that are happening in that room. So just for a period of 2 to 5 months, depending upon the tension or the anxiety that I'm feeling, I spend and really reconnect with myself in that room. I don't know if you have seen, there was an image that I came across. A person was standing in the middle of the war, and there was fire and everything that was happening around that person. But that person was smiling and had their eyes closed and in their own, I would say, in their own zone. And that's what happens when you go into your room that you have created for this purpose. It doesn't matter what's happening around you. You're centered. And the reason why I say that, if you see the wheel of a bike, right? Even if the bike is running at a very maximum speed, the center of the bike is centered. It's calm. It's at the same place, no matter whatever is happening around you, right? So that's the idea of that room, to really center yourself.
I'm very grateful that you shared this, what I feel are micro mindset shifts, because it goes to show that they're really powerful. And I'm talking about myself, but I feel a lot of people correlate. It tends to be the first thing we cut out of our schedule when it gets overwhelming and busy, but they're actually so important. So I feel that you sharing your experience reminds me how important those moments to pause and reconnect with our true self is important.
Yes, it's very, very important, because it gives you the strength. It gives you abundance in every possible way. And if I go back, when I started fighting that divorce case in the court, the law has recently changed, but the practice had not. And it was because of that practice that what was written in the law to be completed in 3 months, it took me 3 years. And every day I would do this. I would go into my room and I would give myself the strength, because going back, I was standing all alone against family and friends' pressure, against him bribing all the lawyers, against the whole system. It was this rule that gave me the strength, that gave me the courage, that gave me the abundance of where I am right now.
Yeah, and maybe because thanks to what you did, yes, it took 3 years, but maybe without it, it would have taken 30. You never know.
Yes, without it, I would have been back in that same marriage. For 13 years, I was in the marriage. So without it, I would have been back. And even when he applied for the custody of the children, because his idea of applying for the custody was to force me back into the same relationship, I would have gone back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lesson for myself and our audience today is never underestimate the power of pause and connecting with your purpose on a daily basis. And I will answer quickly the same question so we can learn more about, where to find the volunteer well. The question was, how do you stay connected to your bigger why in what you do? And it's actually the question I needed today, because I needed your wisdom and experience. I feel that I haven't been having a practice around staying connected to my why. It's there, but sometimes I doubt my journey. And I know it's because I don't take the time to sit with my why. My why and my mission, my vision is to build a career and a business that allows me to enjoy the present moment, to build a company where I don't lose my mind, because I feel it's the conversations we heard from entrepreneurs that they were successful on the outside, but internally they had health issues, mental health. They lost connection with their family, their friends. And so it was actually very unbalanced. And I really feel that we are in a wave of entrepreneurs who want both, who want to build something meaningful, and they know it's going to take time, but they want to enjoy life at the same time, because you don't know what will happen. So just betting everything on the future is not a good bet. And so that's my vision, to see, can I build a business for myself where I enjoy life at the same time.
Yes, Juliet, and you're doing it so beautifully. And it's such a beautiful vision, such a beautiful mission that you have in terms of really enjoying the power of now. And it's so beautiful. Yeah, and one of the things that I would share with you is in terms of each one of us having imposter syndrome all the time. And what I have done is I have separated myself from my negative thoughts. And I have named it. I acknowledge it and I transform it. And I call it Sana. From Shabnam Naz Ansari, I call it Sana. And these thoughts are like, they come every day. They come at every point of time. The idea is to distance yourself and to transform towards something that is able to really utilize your potential to the maximum. Right? Sana wants to keep you safe. Sana wants to keep you in your comfort zone. Sana wants to keep you in where you are, whereas your true self wants to keep you safe as well as really utilize your true potential, right? Mm-hmm. So by living in the comfort zone does not mean that you're not taking risk. You're still taking risk of stagnation. You're still taking risk of being dead while you're still alive. Mm-hmm. So the risk is still there. So just because you are in your comfort zone does not mean that it is comfortable. It is still full of pain. So may as well take that risk of growth and development and utilizing your potential, right?
I agree. And I thank you for sharing this tip. I think it's great to know we can name that version of us that wants us to stay comfortable, that wants to protect us, like you said. And we can even, talk to that person and say, hey, I know you're trying to protect me, but this is important to me. It has potential to lead to something more rewarding than the comfort right now. So let's do it together. You're right next to me. I hear you, but we're going. Let's go. Before we part ways, and I've been really enjoying this conversation. It's a lot of softness. I feel comfortable. I'm having a good time. I want to know where our audience can learn more about the Volunteer Well and get maybe involved, and also what is going on that maybe you want to share with us.
Yes, so in terms of Volunteer Well, right now we are going through a huge transition. We are building the whole foundation, and there are many open positions that we are looking volunteer for. We are looking for volunteers in practically each and every aspect of our business, including legal, including marketing and communication, PR. But most of all, we are looking for local chapter leads, but because what we are doing is we are in the process of building different communities towards different locations within Canada right now. And then before moving outside of Canada right now, we are looking for local chapter leads to join us in addition to many other positions. The idea for you to join a grassroots organization is not just in terms of volunteering your time and skills, but also in terms of giving back to the community and learning hugely. The level of learning and growth that you're going to experience by being a part of this team is amazing. And you can talk to our current volunteers and listen to how they have grown with the passage of time and decide for yourself as well. You can learn more about us from our website, so volunteer-well.org. If there is any organization, any nonprofit, any for-profit organization who is interested in collaborating and partnering with us, please feel free to reach out to us, because what we believe is that where we all come together is the essence of it. we come together towards the common cause of strengthening families, connecting communities, and uniting humanity. That's what we are all about. So let's join hands. That's my basic message.
And I want to encourage our listeners today that if you even resonated with any part of this conversation and you feel drawn to check out the volunteer well, maybe as a volunteer or to be also part of the organization in some ways, just take a look. You never know.
Yes, and also we have volunteers from Canada and across United States as well. So if you are anywhere in Canada or in United States, reach out to us, join the cause.
Thank you, Shabnam, for this conversation. Did you want to add something else?
I just would like to say I'm truly honored to be here with you. I truly love our conversation today. Enjoyed an amazing, thought-provoking questions, brilliant questions by you, and I wish this could go on. But this is amazing.
Me too.
This was so amazing. My pleasure and an honor to be here.